I'm here to perform my eyes, ears, nose, and throat examination on my patient. This is my husband, Marshall, and he is 18 years or older. I'm going to begin with the eye, and I'm just going to begin with a visual inspection. I am looking at his eyes, and I'm making sure that they are symmetrical and that they are both the same size and shape. I'm going to look for the sclera, and I'm going to make sure it's white, and the conjunctiva is pink and moist. I'm going to feel the eyelids, making sure that there's no edema. I'm going to feel the eyebrows, making sure that there's no edema or masses or nodules or anything like that noted. I then am going to actually look inside of his eye using my ophthalmoscope. First, I'm going to turn on the light. There we go. And I'm going to begin by checking his pupillary response. And when I check his pupillary response, I'm going to make sure that the other eye is consensual and that it moves at the same time. Okay, and then I'm going to look at this one and that one. Okay, his pupils are both equally round and reactive to light. I'm going to make sure that both of his eyes accommodate, so I'm going to ask him to first look at this, and then look away at the wall behind me, and then look back to this. And I'm going to look at his pupils to make sure that they accommodate, and his does accommodate. I then am going to look into his eyes. I'm going to look for his red retinal response, and then I'm going to look at the vessels in his eyes and all of the structures in the eye. I'm going to put my ophthalmoscope on a 10 and then dial it down, and I'm going to use my right eye to his right eye and my left eye to his left eye. So first, I'm going to find the red response, and then I'm going to look and dial. And I'm looking at the vessels, I'm looking at the clarity, retinal response. Okay. Then I'm looking at the superior nasal, the inferior nasal, the superior temporal, and the inferior temporal. Then I'm going to come over to the other eye, and I'm going to look at the same thing, holding my ophthalmoscope with this hand and looking with my left eye. First, I'll find his red retinal, and then I'm going to look at the inferior nasal, superior nasal, superior temporal, inferior temporal. Okay, looked at the back of his eyes, everything looks good, and I didn't see any abnormalities in those. While I have my light here, I'm going to go ahead and look at your nose. I'm going to tilt the nose up, and I'm going to be looking at your membranes, making sure that they are pink and moist and no deviated septum, and that your nose is in alignment. No ulcerations or bleeding has occurred, and no drainage noted. I'm going to ask you to sniff and then sniff. No problems with that. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and inspect his mouth. I'm going to start out with just looking at his external mouth and looking at his lips. They are symmetrical. They are pink. They are not dry. They are within normal limits. And then I'm going to ask him to open his mouth. When he opens his mouth, I'm going to look initially at the very inside of the bottom lip, and I'm looking for pink mucous membranes. I'm making sure that there is no lesions, no nodules, no abnormalities at all. And his inside of his lip looks good. His buccal mucosa is pink and moist, no lesions or nodules. His upper lip is pink and moist, no lesions, no nodules, no signs of complications. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and open wide. I'm going to move your tongue to the side, and I'm going to examine the side of your tongue, which is within normal limits, no discolorations. Look at the other side of your tongue, which is within normal limits, no discolorations, no ulcerations, pink and moist. I'm going to look underneath your tongue at your soft palate. Everything's within normal limits. And I'm going to look at the hard palate on the roof of your mouth. Go ahead and tilt your head back for me. It's within normal limits. Within normal limits, no problems there, no discolorations. I ask you to stick your tongue out and say ah. And I'm going to visualize the uvula, making sure it rises and falls, and the tonsils. I would grade the tonsils 1+, 2+, 3+, depending on how close they were to each other. So once I've completed looking at his mouth, I'm going to examine his ears. I'm going to begin by examining the external structure of his ears. You get my otoscope here. Okay, I'm going to begin by examining the external structures of his ears. First, I'm going to look at the peanut, and I'm going to hold my ophthalmoscope like this, and I'm going to look at the external structures for any kind of lesions or masses or abnormalities, which I see none. I'm going to look for drainage or excessive cerumen, which I see no excessive cerumen, which is within normal limits. I'm going to look at both ears, so I'm going to look at this side. I'm going to start off, I'm going to palpate the pinna and make sure that there are no lesions, masses, or nodules on the pinna, no tenderness noted. I'm going to look behind the ear, and I do note a small mole behind the ear that is within normal limits, no irregularities or no discoloration. I'm going to look to make sure that there is no excessive drainage coming out of either one of the ears. Once I've examined both of the ears externally, I'm going to look inside of his ears. When I look inside, I'm going to insert my ophthalmoscope, and I'm going to look. I see some cerumen, but not excessive amounts, which is within normal limits. I do see his tympanic membrane, which is a nice pale color. No edema or redness noted at all. If this is causing pain to your patient, then you are doing something a little bit too hard, so you need to lighten up. I'm going to look at the other side, and I'm going to look and do both. No excessive cerumen, but I do see some. And I see his tympanic membrane is a nice pale color. No redness or edema. No inflammation noted. After that part is complete, I'm going to use my Snellen eye chart. I would normally stand back 20 feet for him to read my Snellen eye chart, but I'm going to have some restraint as far as space goes, so I'll just show you as an example on how I would do it. If you cover your left eye, okay, and then can you read this line? Okay, cover your right eye and read this line.
DEFPOTEC.
Okay, good, thank you. Now I'm going to perform a couple of hearing tests. I'm going to whisper something, and I would like you to repeat it back.
1, 2, 3. ABC.
Any problems hearing that? Okay, and I'm going I'm gonna bang this and make it vibrate, and I'm gonna set it on top of your head. And I need you to let me know if you can hear it equal bilaterally, or if you can hear it stronger in one ear or the other, okay? I'm gonna watch my seconds here on my watch. Tell me when you can't hear it no more. Okay? And now I'm gonna do the same thing, except I'm going to put it on the back of your ear. And once you can no longer hear it like that, I'm gonna put it up to your ear. And then you tell me when you can no longer hear that as well, okay? So your hearing is good. We would do that bilaterally with both ears. You want at least a 2-to-1 ratio, but his was actually closer to a 3-to-1 ratio where he could hear it 3 times longer on the side. So his was a really good ratio. And I think that's going to conclude our assessment of the eyes, ears, nose, and throat today. Thank you. Bye.